Thank you.
Bali, Indonesia, one avid Canadian guitarist came up with an idea. Work with Balinese carvers to create a guitar with a very unique sound. Here's his story.
Avid guitarist Danny Fonfeder was so inspired by Balinese woodcarvers, he thought to add some technical know-how from the West and start making guitars. The result, a workshop called Blueberry. Fonfeder found master carver Wei-Ann Tugas and master luthier George Morris from Vermont and started producing guitars in a workshop that marries East and West. Tugas had never even learned to play a guitar before he began carving guitars for Blueberry 6 years ago.
Originally, I'm a woodcarver, so I cannot get so much difficult to carve the guitar. But the most difficult is how we can make the sound. But it got now.
Using imported wood from Canada, the guitars are carved with motifs of birds, dragons, flowers, and goddesses, while others have shell-like grooves carved over the entire body. The small workshop can produce about 20 guitars a month, with each guitar taking at 50 to 60 days to create. Tugas has trained a team of 47 carvers, including his son, also named Wei-Ann. Tugas says the Blueberry products are well known in America.
Most of my creation, it sold to the American.
American only?
Let's say 90% to the American guitarists and the rest the Europe or Asian.
Running his fingers up and down the neck of his two Blueberry guitars is Balawan, a local guitarist.
The reason that I use it because it's very combination between a sound and an art. So and craftsmanship, so like and got a very unique sound.
Blueberry guitars sell for $1,000 to $6,000 US, depending on the level of design and material used.
No idea what Richard is getting up to this morning, but I have a feeling it might be a little musical. Good morning.
It is a little musical. It is International Music Day. Can you see that, Guillory?
Beautiful.
Look at that, eh? I believe that wood is ebony. It is hand-carved in Bali, and it's the head of a guitar. Very special guitar.
Okay.
It is a company that was launched in July. It is called Blueberry Guitars. We're in Saint Laurent at their workshop. We're going to talk to them about how they make these incredible guitars. And look at the back. I don't know if you can see.
Oh, yeah, that's very intricate. It's beautiful.
It takes about 40
Designed in
days.
Bali, okay.
40 days to make one.
40 days, that's it?
Yeah, I know it sounds fast to me too.
It does sound fast.
That's it. But they sound amazing too. The company was started by Danny Fonfeder and is named after his daughter Blueberry. We're going to talk to him about what his inspiration for this company was. But the guitars sound really nice, and we're going to get a chance to hear some serious musicians play as well, so who came in from Toronto to perform this morning, show you what the guitars can do.
That's
So I'm
pretty
looking forward to
impressive,
that.
Richard. That's pretty nice.
That's 2 chords.
Hey, can you sing us out? Sing a little something. Come on. Come on.
Hillary is a goof.
Oh, great. Never mind. We'll get back to you. Work on
Stay
it.
tuned for the B-side.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
We'll check back. All right, time to take a short break. We'll check back.
This is Ira Quincy, who's here from Toronto. He's playing a Blueberry guitar. And Blueberry Guitars is a brand new Montreal company that makes these spectacular sounding and fantastic looking hand-carved guitars. We'll talk to the man behind the company and listen to more great music later on This Morning Live. Good morning. It is International Music Day. We are here in Saint Laurent at a company called Blueberry Guitar. And if you're scratching your head wondering, why have I never heard of Blueberry Guitar? Well, it's because it's a brand new company launched in July. Danny Fonfeder is the president and founder of the company. And as I understand it, you didn't really begin this whole venture with the idea of turning it into a company, but it has become a company.
Sort of evolved into Blueberry Guitar Company. It just started as a little side trip from a regular business trip to Hong Kong, and I took 4 days off off to see Bali, and usually I would travel with my guitar, but I left it in the Hong Kong hotel. So I went into a little convenience store in Bali where they weren't really selling guitars. They just had some low-end guitars. Figured I could play it in my hotel, and I couldn't find a single one that would even keep its tune. And as I was in the taxi with the guitar that I'd bought there, I started seeing all these furniture shops and little statue shops and all these stores doing intricate carvings on wood. And it occurred to me that I could make a guitar here that would be beautiful and would sound nice. So I asked my taxi driver to find the best carving shop, and I went in with the cheap guitar that I bought, showed it to the head carver, and here we are 2.5 years later with the world's most beautiful guitars that sound gorgeous. But it just sort of evolved. It wasn't a business plan that came up there.
So these are the examples that they did for you.
When I went to Bali the first time, I took that cheap guitar that I bought, took it to the head carver there, and I asked him to just go wild trying to build me something that looked like a guitar. And I came back 2 months later, and I had these beautiful carved things that looked like a guitar, as you can see here and here. But from that point on, we had to figure out how to build guitars properly. And I came back to Canada, started looking for a luthier that could carve and teach them how to play guitars and make guitars properly. And I found one in Vermont, actually. I didn't find one in Montreal, but there was a luthier called George Moritz, and he'd been teaching people to build guitars for 25 years. And I spoke with him about the idea about creating guitars and making good guitars in Bali. He loved it. He flew to Bali and took 2 years training the artisans and the carvers there to make guitars one at a time of the highest quality using the best woods.
What's the most gratifying part about this, Danny?
Really, the best thing is to be able to be in something where I can be around musicians and composers and hear beautiful music, and the reward is seeing musicians loving the instrument and taking it as something personal and being around all this art and music. That's what I really love.
But the challenges have been, I mean, not daunting, but rather the humidity, for one thing, you were saying.
Well, the challenges were crazy. I had no idea getting into it. I thought, like most people would probably think, that it's just a piece of wood that you carve in the shape of a guitar. But right away I was told that the humidity is going to ruin these guitars as soon as they got back to Canada, because we're a totally different climate. So we had to figure out how to dry the wood in Bali for the right amount of time so that when they came here in the Canadian cold or North American cold, they wouldn't snap. The first guitars were snapping as soon as they got here. But we had to build kiln drying for the woods, and they have to rest there for 6 weeks before they're ready to turn into a guitar. We solved that. The finishing, as you can see, we've got Ugg working here on the guitar, but the finishing was an issue because regular guitars are not carved like this. So we had to figure out how to get the right finishing to go into the carving, because regularly you'd be just a polished finish. So that also took about 6 months to solve that. And by July we were done.
We have more to show you and more to let you hear. Stay with us on This Morning Live. Right now, though, time for sports. In July, called Blueberry Guitars. Incredible instruments, incredible sounding, incredible looking. One of This Morning Live fans will recognize Paul Deslauriers, of course. He is a fan of Blueberry Guitars. Hugues Laforce, the luthier who's working in the background there. And I'm with the Director of Operations, Mark Goldman, this morning. Mark, pretty unbelievable project. Can you believe how far it's come?
It's come a long way. We're very excited about it. We started a couple of years ago in development, and as Danny mentioned earlier, it was an idea that he had, and it's broadened into this wonderful project. And everybody who looks at these guitars is quite stunned. We're quite fascinated by what's going on here.
And these artists, these carvers, are in Bali. And tell us a little bit about the work that they do.
They're remarkable carvers. They're known around the world for their ability to carve. Wayan Tugas, who's our partner in Bali, has, and I've given you some examples here, has created these marvelous masterpieces with these tools. These are really very extraordinary chisels that Wayan makes himself, and all the carvers make their own tools. Much like a mechanic here, I guess, would have his own tools. And they're razor sharp, and they use these tools to carve into the variety of woods. We have a whole bunch of different woods. Ebony, maple, rosewood, mahogany. They're very, very hard woods, and these tools will carve right through them. And they use them basically either by pushing them in with their hands like this to get these intricate designs, or they'll use it with this hammer. And this is also something they've made themselves. And this hammer is made out of ebony. and it is rock hard, Richard. This is the hardest hammer you've ever seen, and this won't crack. So it's quite remarkable. They begin by drawing a design. This would be a rosette. That's the circle that goes around the hole in the center of the guitar, and they put the design down there and then begin with small tools and carve this out, either by pushing it by hand or, in fact, by hitting it with a hammer. And you start like this, and you end up with something like that.
40 days about to make a guitar from beginning to end. And Danny was saying earlier that when you get the wood from there, you don't even know that it's their inspiration. What they are inspired to do, you get.
Exactly. And you might get two carvers carving the same idea, but they'll be totally different. The wood might be a little bit different. Each carver's technique will be a little bit different. So you'll get an eagle, or you'll get a rose, or you'll get a Celtic design, and there'll be something slightly different about it. The ears will be turned this way, the eyes will be turned that way. So it's really a very special gift by the carvers.
So no two guitars are alike. And now where can we find them? You guys, not a lot of people know about you yet, but that's changing. You're heading to Anaheim soon.
Yes, we're going to go to Anaheim. We're going to go to the Music Messe in Frankfurt as well. We are starting to set up a dealer network in Canada, and then we go to the United States. There are a great many dealers who have expressed interest in becoming involved with Blueberry. Why not? I mean, it's really a remarkable piece of art, work of art, plus their outstanding instruments. So we're quite happy about that.
Mark Goldman is Director of Operations for Blueberry Guitars. They have the website. It is blueberryguitars.com. Right now, I think that's one of the only ways that you can get yourself a guitar, but we've got more to show you later on as well. We're going to be hearing some performances from Paul a little bit later. Want to say hi to Danny's kids, Sabrina and Alana, and Blueberry, of course, his daughter, who the company is named after. Stay with us on This Morning Live.